All right, of course, you're welcome back now. After a look at what the weather looks like around Nigerian cities, it's now time to take a look at the front pages of the National Daily. So we'll let the people know what's going on.
Yes, indeed, and they really do need to know. But first off, they need to know that Cyril Abaku is right here with us in the studio, and he'll be looking at the headlines with us. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Ngozi and Ike. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, the Punch states 3 states. Pandev reject Buhari's water resources bill. And you wonder why this water resources bill is causing some kind of division among, especially senators. Those from the South are saying no, that it is insensitive. Of course, what this bill aims to achieve, most of all, apart from other things, is to actually put the water resources right in the hands of the federal government. And
who needs that in a supposedly federal republic?
Well,
we cannot continue to defederate the federation. Okay, the Land Use Act is obnoxious enough because it is hindering development in the real sector. It further defederalizes the nation. So to add, if you take land,
especially at a time when people are calling for true federalism and restructuring of the federation.
If you take land and you take water, what is left?
What is left?
So I think it is important. It's unfortunate that even if the APC as a party, and indeed in its manifesto, the first provision it made was that it will take active steps to devolve powers, But for, I mean, if what we've already inauspiciously devolved is not bad enough, and we're trying to pack so much more, it becomes more problematic. What we need to do is to give, look, land, water, those are the natural resources that that nature gives to man first of all. So even government's control over them has to be very minimal. I want to believe that this bill will be kicked out of Parliament, and then we'll make sure that in fact, instead of add more power to the federal government, let's give more power to the states.
Absolutely.
Simply.
All right, moving on. Still other stories here. Buhari's Democracy Day's speech, uninspiring and hollow, and that's coming from the PDP.
I would have thought that he should have paid some attention to Leah Sharibu, to the fact that our health sector is in crisis.
He didn't say anything about the health sector.
And then yes, and to a couple more issues. For what it's worth, it's a speech. But yesterday, the CBN governor, if I'm correct, was quoted to have said that, look, don't buy Forex anywhere more than 360 naira to $1. And even that is not acceptable. What is the minimum wage?
18,000 naira.
Good. Now, how does that, if the average Nigerian is expected to live within 18,000 naira, what does that translate to in naira and kobo? So I think he spoke because it was Democracy Day, but I think they could have done better.
Yeah. All right. Will lessen budget delays impact on economy? That's Kemi Adeosun, Finance Minister, speaking there. How is that going to happen? I mean, the budget has not been passed yet, and it's the last day, almost the last day of May. We still haven't seen the budget.
I think as at last Friday or Saturday, it was supposed to have been given to the president.
Yes.
After the National Assembly was said to have done its own ritual. But I think that we need to get our budgeting process right. It's not enough for us to talk about finances, talk about the economy, talk about infrastructure. We can say a lot of things. But if we even understood the reason why a government needs a budget or has a budget, we will understand that pushing the budget further by even a month or a week can be disastrous.
Yeah, it will definitely take a toll.
Yes, but I think
how government is even going to reduce or the impact on the economy? Well, with time, we'll find out. I guess that's all from the Punch. And unfortunately, 20 burned to death in Ondo Road accident. 48 billion naira budget padding. Is this 48 billion or 481 billion budget padding? Court orders trial of culpable lawmakers.
Well, Ngozi and Cyril, as a thinker, I'm not an economic mind, but I'm a thinker. I was, trying to think that isn't there a way, because we had someone who talked about the budget here the other day. I was just trying to think, isn't there a way that we can create some punitive measures so that all the MDAs, certain percentage, would have to be set all right, that look, you have to implement the budget up to this percentage, and if you don't, there must be punishment for it. So that.
But are you going to be putting the blame at the doorsteps of the MDAs?
You know, the people in those places are like the rat that has grown, that has fed so fat that he can push the owner of the house
out of the house.
It's not so easy. They have understood all the nooks and crannies. Imagine,
yeah, but if there are punitive measures,
you see, but
people would,
you may not be able to pin it down.
All right, let's move on very quickly.
All right, Cyril, let's look at the Nation newspaper. NPDP stops Saraki's trial. That's
actually ex-NPDP.
Ex-NPDP, I beg your pardon. Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I think about a 6 or 8 point man was made by the NPDP to the committee that was sent from the presidency, led by the vice president, to interface with them and to hold discussions. Of course, as you and I know, it doesn't pay anybody well that you're heading into an election year and you have a divided house. Already, the APC has a bleeding nose from the APC congresses. And then again, it won't be good for you to have a bruised feet from the NPDP people. So,
in spite of the fact that the NPDP says it is too early in the day to even talk about quitting the party.
Of course it is. But you see, if they have grievances, it is good you address them. The PDP lost in the last election because whereas some people were bold enough to leave the party, some others stayed in and still worked against the party. Now, the fact is this. The NPDP, you know, why they cannot leave so boldly and courageously is because there's a lot of uncertainty. But it's fine. Now, it's good that they've been sat with and that they've discussed. I think they've now resolved to form an 8-man panel to look at those grievances. The fact that the APC understands well enough to pay attention to their demands tells you that even if people are not willing to leave, it won't be good to have a house that is not...
they might just end up only looking at the demands and not really doing anything about it. Because where's the time really to
all right.
implement some of
quite
those
a
demands?
number of people have said, have submitted the look, it's all about self-interest. And it was Patrick Lumumba who said, look, politicians look to the next election, but statesmen look to the next generation. Yeah. All right, minimum wage won't be ready by September. I was asking him, but the Labour Minister had said that new minimum wage will be ready sometime in September.
Yeah.
See, the origin of minimum wage in Nigeria was purely the idea of Obafemi Awolowo. And what he proposed then, you know, was that, look, Nigeria needs a minimum living standard, or a minimum standard of living, which will require a vehicle for the average Nigerian to achieve it.
Yeah.
And to achieve a national minimum standard of living, we need a national minimum wage that will conduce to that standard of living. It's like talking about the bricks that build the American dream.
Yes.
It's a dream for everyone, but there are minimum standards that everybody should abide.
Yeah.
We must all love liberty.
That is why it is called minimum.
So it's fine. Now, this is the question.
Liberty, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness.
Thank you. One man, his family, and his dream. Now, this is beautiful. The fact is that in Nigeria today, we're talking about minimum wage. You know, I was talking about, I mentioned it earlier, 18,000 naira. What have we defined as a society to be our national minimum standard of living? That we think 18,000 naira in 2018 can take us there.
Well, it's
and then, of course, Olusegun Obasanjo talked about the living wage. We still don't know what that is. We're not even settled with the minimum wage. How much more a living wage?
Exactly. Now, there are two ways to arrive at it. You can talk about a minimum wage. Let's say 100,000 naira, 150. It may help today. On the other hand, government should bring about projects of social welfare. If, as a worker, I'm entitled to certain things, free education for my children,
free health care,
free health, free housing, and other freebies. 18,000 naira may just be pocket change for me. If I can get such freebies, I don't need.
Why not?
But without that in place, 18,000 naira, I pay transport, I'm in traffic,
you pay everything.
I need housing.
All right, moving on.
Don't even go there. Talk about it anymore. Well, Buhari, vote for candidates of your choice. There is a sense in which Nigerians must be happy that the president would create a level playing field for everyone.
Okay.
It is sweet, but there's no, but who? I mean, we don't have choices yet, so it's even difficult.
All right. The Daily Sun is our next paper. One of the many choices we have to look at the papers this morning. Quick notice: PDP, APC clash. That's old news, really, isn't it?
Old news, but also ongoing news.
Okay. Biafra Day, anxiety fears in Southeast over sit at home. Yes, that was supposed to go into effect today, May 30th.
Yes, but I think that, you see, it is not from I'm pan-Nigerian. I'm pan-Nigerianistic, if there's a word like that.
Shouldn't we all be?
Well, we should be, but that is not something that people I mean, even when we say pan-Nigerianism now, because we're in a TV studio, for many people out there, they don't understand what that could or should even mean. So how do we evolve a philosophy? How do we evolve an identity that is peculiar to Nigeria and that at least the majority of our people can identify with? The reason why you have these socio-political groups or socio-cultural affiliations all springing up and people have so much loyalty to these groups is because there is no centripetal movement. There is, up until today, how can Mr. President give a Democracy Day speech and leave out a little girl that has become a national hero because she refused to give up her faith? These are the issues. We need to look. What
Nigeria seems to be lacking in that unifying force.
It is lacking. What happens to one person should be seen as happening to all. If we're not willing to sell a common national philosophy, it's a problem for me.
Moving on very quickly.
The Vanguard, Atiku, Afenifere, Ohaneze fault Buhari's vow to deal with herdsmen.
Well, because, look, quite frankly speaking, for me, and again, this came up yesterday, I was having a chat with someone, and the person pointed out to me. The fact is that I think the president and his team have their assumptions wrong. We are not having a farmers-herdsmen clash. What is going on is that farmers and religious places are being attacked. Whatever you want to call them, call them. Farmers and herdsmen are not clashing. Yesterday, in Taraba, these same people, whether you call them bandits, you call them suspected herdsmen, you call them militia groups, whatever they are, they went to a community, they killed the leader of the vigilance group, and then they made away with cattle. And I'm asking, how could that have happened? I mean, so many questions to be asked. So when the police IG says that it is a communal
which
clash,
he of course said he took that back.
You know, it's funny.
All right, moving on very quickly. My last paper this morning, New Telegraph, sit-at-home order. Police governors move against IPOB as the CP vows to use legitimate force to stop Biafran agitators.
They should move against Biafranism. What are the factors that are conducing to people believing in this idea? Most of those who
make people believe in Nigerianism.
Make people believe in Nigeria. There's no such message to them. What are we doing?
And 11 banks set aside 433 billion naira for bad loans. That's it.
All right, this day newspaper, Lai Mohammed, Buhari, APC won't lose 2019 presidential poll. That's it on the This Day newspaper. You want to comment on that? Well,
he's the information minister.
And that's his job to do.
Walter Fonagoro would have said the same thing about Abacha. So, I mean, it's a...
All right, then, Cyril Abaku, thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
For coming, as always.
Thank you.
All right, of course, we're going to move on to our next discussion as soon as we come back from this short breather. Stay with us.